Alrighty. Another quarterfinal, best of 5 in the WardiTV Invitational. Number 11 in the top right corner, our red Zerg player. Give it up if you're cheering on Rogue. He's actually, I really gotta say this. He's actually been really good in online tournaments lately. You know, I know we see a lot of Rogue, which is very much so a case of, oh, he doesn't really care. He only shows up for big events, yada yada. He'll still play the smaller stuff, but he'll just do whatever. He actually has been really legit in online events lately. I don't know what it is, but he's gone from being a player who I'd never expect to get out of a group stage in an online event, and that was a realistic expectation, to a guy right now who I'm actually thinking might just win everything he plays in. And that's just where his online players just stepped up big time, basically. So, Rogue on the top right. His opponent for this quarterfinal will be Dream, another player who really does not need much of an introduction, representing Bravestar, a player who we have seen pretty consistently show us he can be one of the best in the world, or the best in a career at the very least in Terran matchups this year. Yeah, he's not Mario level, he's not innovation level, but is there anybody Dream can't beat? That's the thing, right? It's for Dream, it feels like a consistency thing. He's got a wider variance of success. He loses to people we don't really expect him to, and he wins against the people who we don't always expect him to either. I mean, I think for me, the biggest part of Dream this year was absolutely the Kung Fu Cup, where he got to the finals. He played against Dark, and everyone's like, well, Dark. I mean, this is before Dream even had good runs in GSL this year too, right? So, you know, just to set some context, and everyone's like, right, well, Dark gonna bop this guy. I can't believe we've got a Dark Dream finals. Ugh, how boring. And then, you know, then Dream goes and 3-0s Dark and makes Dark look a little bit silly, and everyone's like, oh my freaking god. So, yeah, really kind of cool to see Dream just kind of delivering this year after he returned from the military. And he was back for a while, and it really seems like everything is starting to click again this year. You know, it's funny because we mention a lot of players that return from the military and do well, and I always see people mention DRG. People obviously mention Bjorn, right? And everyone's like, well, you know, a lot of players are coming back from military and doing well. I think Dream is one of those guys as well. I mean, again, look at his GSL performances this year. You know, it is improvement. He is getting back on track. He is becoming the scary, monstrous player that he has been in the past. Very exciting to see Dream returning at a high level. Of course, we do have Overlord speed here from Rogue is going to be the early choice, so we'll be seeing that. And I would say GSL results, they actually weren't maybe as impressive as you might expect. He got a round of 8, right? I think that was kind of his peak, but yeah, like I say, it was maybe I'm talking him up a bit too much on just his GSL results. Maybe everything's merged together this year, so maybe a few more of the online results for Dream that kind of really speak up for him, but at least having some success translating that into offline events as well. Overlord is going to take a few shots of damage and just going to be pushed away to the side. Viking on the way, a couple of Hellions. Obviously getting to watch another TVZ here back to back with that previous one, so even more of this fun TVZ opening action. This one just 3cc, Stim and the Viking, one of the builds I alluded to in the earlier best of 5, and one which just works nicely. You know, everything just lines up well with this. He goes for medevac too. I wouldn't mind sneaking in a little bit of a Hellion drop into the main base or something, you know. I feel like that's always kind of cute. And this is a fun play as well, trying to bait the Lynx to the edge with the Reaper. Then the Hellions could get some kills, but Rogue is just a little bit too good for that here today, and he's not going to let that happen. He actually is going to drop an armory down. I was not expecting the armory at all here from Dream. It does make a little bit of sense. Oh, do you want to cancel that armory with the Overlord speed coming in? Maybe rebuild it on the natural? Or are you just going to cancel it in general? Rogue is going to get in to see it. He doesn't click on it yet, but I mean, hopefully he's paying some kind of attention. He is going to build a Spine Crawler, so he definitely is. He knows what's up. Yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. Sometimes you go like 4 Hellbats in the main and then 4 Hellbats at the third. Obviously, this is just coming off the back of a 3rd CC, though. Looks like everything will join up together and go in the same direction. There's a lot of Overlords out the front. Obviously, they have speed to pull back, but definitely potential targets, right? I mean, this one should go down to the... Well, if the Viking joined in the fight, should go down rather easily. And that's a supply blocked rogue now, who is still building drones. Oh my god. He built a spine, but now he's still building drones. His unit count at 16 lings. And, well, gonna let this spine start to deal some damage. A queen, pretty high energy queen goes down. Bit of a mistake there from rogue, as we'll see the Hellbats taking some extra shots. Hellbats now up into the natural expansion. Queens will be chased away. Things are going to run through, and they get around on a Viking right away as well. Now coming around the other side as now Spine will try and relocate to try and match this aggression. And yeah, it's almost like the Spine made me believe Rogue knew what he was up against. The fact he was still droning made me kind of doubt that again. And right now he's making some progress on these Hellbats again, but there's a queen in the main that's kind of just trapped, so that's likely to go down. And it dies. Yeah, I don't know right now. Like, this is just... I mean, this is sort of like damage you'd expect off like a Hellbat attack without a 3cc. The fact that this is off the back of a third command center is amazing. I feel like usually if a Hellbat attack does this much, we're like, well, you know, the Zerg drone doing it, and they're okay, and yada yada. Nuh-uh. 61 SCVs, third base landed of a dream. This attack did way more than it really should have done. 2.1k to 1.1k resources lost, so it's a good start there. You know, and obviously you're trading out, you know, Hellbats as well, so they lose value over time. I mean, they're still not bad things to have in the army, but he killed 42 lings. The Overlords obviously had up as well. That supply block definitely didn't help. 5 of the queens. And obviously, you know, the creep is slowed down. Rogue has not been spreading creep during all of this time. He's running around with queens in the natural expansion. So yeah, he's really just not had a good time at all. As this glare continues up, it will be done soon. So that's going to be a late Baneling speed. So we're going to have... The only good thing here is Rogue will have 1-1 against 1-1 for this 1-1 time, but he just will not have Bane speed or anything to help out either, and that's got to be a concern. Putting this armory to use and already going into drilling close. He goes 2 factories with the 3 barracks, so a little bit of a faster setup with that. As oh, I apologize, I missed the Widow Mine drop in the main base. I'm just talking about Widow Mines as well, and I actually just completely missed this one moving across. This one hits the lava that we've got. I mean, a Widow Mine here, that's not enough Marines, unfortunately. The problem with it only being 3 barracks, but still nice pressure, and the 7 drones in the main obviously go a long way to helping out. And yeah, that's obviously fantastic stuff. Upgrade's still good for Rogue. 2-2 on the way already, and that might be, if anything, is going to be his saving grace in this game number 1. The upgrades might just be it. It's a fine window, about 35 seconds, where you'll have 2-2 against 1-1, so that's basically what we're looking at. His Dream's just like, oh, 4th base ready. His 4th base is going to land before 9 minutes. Like, he's just macroing like a god. 71 to 27 army supply right now. This Widow Mine drop just came in for a few extra drones again, and yeah, you just don't recover from this. I mean, Widow Mine, I mean, there's still not even Baneling speed. The Widow Mine does some mega damage to the Marines, but even that I don't think is going to be enough to help. He's using this Overseer to bait on top. Wow, the Overseer bait was beautiful. Baits on top, exactly on top of all of these bio units. So the Widow Mines have done more damage to the Terran army than the Zerg player has. And that is the only reason Rogue is holding on right now. This isn't upgrades. They're not in play just yet. It's the Widow Mines being so bad for the Terran player that they're actually giving the Zerg player a chance. Ling's running in again. A couple Widow Mines will burrow up. Again, Widow Mines hitting the medevacs with the splash damage. I mean, again, in the end, this should just be a little bit too much. I guess Bane Speed's about to kick in. Widow Mine shots going off. This time, there's no Terran units left to connect onto. I mean, these Widow Mines have actually been so sick. Rogue literally has more supply than Terran because the Widow Mines are basically his supply with the way they've been connecting. It was well played too, like he was purposely dragging the Overseer in certain ways to try and get the Widow Mines to connect on the Terran army. And if he hadn't done that, he would have absolutely already been dead. And he might still be dead, but he's given himself at least a slither of hope here after really not having anything early on at all. Marines grab the Overlord, and the Lings are going to run up the left-hand side. Some of the Lings from the upper left, and they're going to get in here. Those Marines go down very quickly. We're just going to be seeing our 2-2 upgrades about to finish up from Dream in that main base. Again, the 2-2 completed. Wouldn't mind burrows up. Banes will do what they can. I love the Marauder in the front just trying to tank a few of the Banelings as well. 91 to 40 army supply. Almost feels like Dream is just missing half of his army every single time he's fighting. When you look at the supplies versus what's actually here this time, the Woodland Mines don't blow up the Terran army, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, yeah, this is kind of what these previous fights were meant to look like before the Terran army blew itself up. Everything just pushing forward here from Dream, looking good, and just going to be continuing to clean up. Rogue has really no chances in this game, number one, guys. I don't like to be so negative, but again, it was impressive already that he held for so long. The Hellbat attack off a 3cc. Stream hasn't started at all. Yeah, I don't think it was a stream issue. I think it was just Twitch being a bit funky. Well, I don't know. That was just a weird moment or two. Top left-hand side, our red Zerg play from Generic Green Wings is Rogue. And in the bottom right, our blue Terran up a game is Dream. Just really hit with that early attack and made it work from there. Do I have Comcast? No, we don't have Comcast in England. Hey, to be fair, my internet's actually usually pretty good. Yeah, my internet, I've only had one actual issue with my internet in the 2 years that I've lived here. I think maybe two, actually. Like, one time it went out, like, nationwide it went out, so, like, it wasn't really evenly... You know, I can't really blame them if, like, everything went down around the nation, you know? That was a big issue, like, whatever, but... other than that, I only had, like, one time where my internet specifically was balking up, and they fixed it in, like, a day. It was actually pretty good. Can't complain about my internet, unfortunately. I've got to leave my internet behind. So, yeah, I didn't really talk about this on stream, but I'm going to be moving at some point, and I have to go to worse internet, which is not, it's still going to be good enough to stream. It's just obviously after having such good internet for so long, I'm like, no. So, it should still be fine. It should still be stable, reliable, and everything. I'm just going to have to actually wait to download stuff instead of stuff just downloading in a second, like I've been doing for the last couple of years. Alright, so... sorry, get off on a bit of a wild one there. Do have the, Reaper coming around. Lings are... And a little wrap around the Reapers. The Reaper taking a couple shots. Queen's on the way. And Ling speed is starting up as well. A third hatchery down that left side. Sorry, talking about other things, and now I'm like trying to get my mind back in the game and figuring out where we're at again and all of that kind of stuff. Where are we at, you know? Yeah, I think very, very standard as the orbital command sets up from Dream in the natural expansion. I'm going to be moving this Reaper around this left-hand side, and Ling speed is setting up from Rogue up in the main base as well. So again, that start is our starport is now underway also. And this is going to be a double gasser, so no 3cc. Double gas 3cc will come a bit further down the line now. As the Queen chases the Reaper away, a bit of creep spread from Rogue will move over to the left-hand side. Does not find that creep tumor. And a couple of Hellions continuing into the middle of the map, coming around. Trying to join up with the Reaper. It's going to be that Banshee play. We've actually seen a lot of Banshees today, huh? For a setup that doesn't really usually do so well. Now getting to see a lot of the Banshee stuff is, not that it doesn't do well, that's not the phrase, but it's not been so popular lately. But having not been so popular lately, we've seen a lot of it today. Rotron is about halfway done as the Hellions are poised down the ramp. We'll have a Reaper that hops up into the main. And Rotron's going to be done from Rogue in a moment or two. Overlord's finishing to get out of a supply block. How many roaches do we build, and what do we do with them, Rogue? Are we going across the map with this? This might just be roaches in fear of Hellbats again, right? And as we see, the Hellions going to move to the side. Could be roaches in fear of Hellbats with the intention of going for like a 1-1 roach timing behind it. Hellions got a few drones. They're still alive. 4 drones dead now, and they've killed a lot of the lings too, which is actually painful if you wanted to attack, because then you don't have a front line for those roaches. The Banshees, the fact that Banshees are up against roaches is great. Oh, this is even worse. The roaches are moving across the map. The roaches are moving across the map without ling support, so the Banshees are just going to say, no, shut this down. Yeah, I mean, now you know. Where's the first Banshee? Still at home? Okay, I mean, I actually would kind of like just 2 Banshees to wait and go together, because then the roaches aren't going to get a chance to pull away and go home. Yeah, it immediately sees a Banshee and Rogue's like, crap. That is not how this is meant to go. Dream is off to a flying start in this series right now. First game, very good for him, and this second game is starting in really good shape as well. Yeah, it's funny, but I mean, Dream doesn't know exactly how committed this is, so I understand, obviously, you just go as soon as possible with the Banshees to start hitting the roaches, but in this scenario, actually would have been better to save the Banshees, get 2, and then you would have just been able to chase the roaches for a whole bunch of kills. Obviously, now he's going to try and play between the bases, which is away from the Spore Crawlers. Don't know what this Queen's plan was. It will go down, and well, Overseer on the way, so the between the base play shouldn't last forever. Only really a Queen kill, but Roaches push back as well, and obviously further opportunities with those, as now Hellions are diving the third base again. 4 drones down already again, and should get these couple as well. Wow, I don't know how those 2 survived, but that was only 5 workers. So what's that in total? 9 drones? And you've invested into roaches, which obviously is an expense. It's a little rough. Roach speed is on the way through right now, as we'll see the lings and roaches jumping in on these rocks. So picking away at those already. Armory's in that natural. Hydra's down behind the third base. Just bringing the Changeling of Rogue down here, as Marines will grab that Changeling. And the first drop of the game will move out. So with Hydra's coming up, we're going to play Roach Hydra. We've got Banshees looking to see what's going on. Picking away at these creep Jimmys right now. There's the medevac that pushed away. Corrosive Vials. Oh, he gets it! Boom! Love it. What a play for Rogue. I love those shots. And see our 2 Banshees pulling back down through the bottom. More Marines up through the center. Marines gonna load back into the medevac. Overlord is gonna go down. Rogue is supply blocked, and more Marines continuing through. Roaches, Ravages coming forward now. Marines loading back into these medevacs, backing away. Lurker Den on the way up from Rogue now in the main base. Getting that ready as our hive sets up. Hey, Dream's not had a good few moments here. You know, this has actually been an unsuccessful set of harassment. So Rogue has kind of gone up to 80 drones and just defended from there. And, I mean, how fantastic is that? I mean, especially after killing a medevac, too. With the style of play that's never really meant to be able to kill medevacs, he got a full medevac kill. That actually really slows down a lot of what I imagine the plan was from Dream. Is now Hydra show up, and, yeah, I mean, this amount of units. He's just constantly feeling like he's dropping into the roaches. This is obviously not great. Cars go down. The Banshees are dead. Banshees would kind of pass their sell-by date anyway. With Hydras on the map, there's very few places they're going to find to attack into and take advantage of. As we push up, we're going to see a bunch of Creep Tumors going down. Overlord's taking damage. And now these drones already being picked away at also. 8 workers dead already. 9, 10, and 11. Make that 12. 12 workers picked off here. I was going to see a Spore moving over to the left-hand side. And the medevac of Dream coming back into the middle. Marines, tanks, marauders, medevacs moving up the right as well. Bigger push from Dream, but he's on 165 supply against 200. I know some of this is roaches, but wow, Rogue is just going to jump on him before tanks are siege, so need I say that that is obviously very good. Lurkers are chasing this army down as well. He's got Hive, no Lurker upgrades yet. On his way to Vipers, I mean, it feels like Rogue has anything and everything he needs here. Oh no, Dream didn't realize what he was running into there. I mean, that was just like, you see the fight, so your Marines running forward to fight, but you're not meant to fight, right? That wasn't his intention. He just wasn't paying attention to the army. This is, this has been such a bad game for Dream. Like I said earlier, when he turned those roaches around, it's like, wow, what a start to this series. 1-0 up, and then the roaches do like a ton of damage. Like, you know, the roaches do nothing and whatever, and then it felt like Dream was in full control. It felt like we're already talking about a Dream 2-0. And since that moment, Rogue has freaking dominated. Like, this man just has not stopped from that point on. Actually crazy how one-sided it has been since that moment in time. Yeah, Rogue just needs to get his Lurker upgrades. The only issue is he's missing adaptive talents, so running up on top of this army and burrowing is not really an option just yet, but when it is, or if it was, he would have just won the game already. I mean, obviously now you've got to wait to the where the guys going. I like these Lurkers being left here, but good from Dream to realize they are there and to not die to them. Lurkers on Burrow pulling back up the left side. So we see now Lurkers, Hiders moving through the center. Well, this is an interesting fight position. The Vipers aren't being too useful just yet. He's going to abduct tanks in. The rest of the tanks are actually just way far from this fight. They're not going to be a part of this at all. Lurkers burrow up, Roaches and Hydras pushing through as well. Lurkers burrow up again, Marines and Marauders continue to go down, tanks are continuing to fall. These Lurkers burrow up. SCV is taking some damage, Marines and Marauders are going to stem in. We'll see a couple of abducts and tanks getting brought further forward as well. But actually the Lurkers, well, the Lurkers kind of die, but then the Hydras following through are going to clean up these siege tanks anyway. And yeah, there's a lot of Hydras, and now there's not really any way to get rid of these Hydras. They're generally very flimsy and glass cannon-y, but there's just no actual units here. Marauders are obviously going to do basically nothing to them. GG! Rogue's going to tie this one up 1-1. Just a game number 3. 1-1. I mean, two very different games from a game where Rogue got dominated, our red zone top right-hand side, to a game where he did dominate. It's gotta feel good for him, because I do not feel like this was a good setup at all for him initially. As in the bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran player is Dream. We actually do have an OV. We're really scouting around for proxy racks, so Rogue being very cautious of where or what Dream might be looking to get done early on in this. Just making sure he's not going to fall apart to anything silly or anything along those lines. A couple of queens and a few lings on the way then. And we do have the Reaper, which is moving on up to the top right-hand side. Drops a grenade, and the drone goes to fly around a little bit. Now coming around, Nelly gets that drone kill, but the spore is placed, and the dance does not become anything it should not be. Obviously, if drones were to actually start dropping here, you'd be a little bit concerned. Gets the creep tumor though, and we talked about this earlier. The value of that creep tumor is huge, of course. It's the first creep of the game. It's 25 energy when you only have 2 queens. So it's just wasted energy investment. And again, that early on, it's kind of important, and it slows down the creep so you don't get toward the third base as quickly. If this Reaper ran up there right now and got the creep tumor again, that would have been incredible. Doesn't go for it. This time the creep tumor will get to go up. And Dream, he's just trying to keep track of what's going on. There is still some gas mining continuing, just one worker, but it's building up. And he's just trying to pick up info if at all possible. Overall, not really much to see, and I think this is just going to be, if anything, Overlord speed from Rogue and getting some scouting info on that. Few drones being built as the lair sets up from Rogue right now, so gets that going. As our Reaper of Dream hops up into the main, Lings and a Queen come pretty quickly to push that back down. This lair will just continue to tick along for the moment. 2 more Queens coming up as our Overlords still coming into play. Stimpack is starting the starport in the main. A couple of Hellions still coming through, and our Hellions from Dream will have to back away from the center down to the bottom left-hand side. Queens move across and the Hellions back away. Lair is about to be done. Just going to be seeing the extra drones coming into action. The armory sets up in the back of the main base as well. So this is the fastest fire choice from Rogue. Now we'll see what this Hellbat attack can do. Armory is about to be done here, and Stim behind it. I'm a little worried. I mean, this is exactly when Hellbat should do fantastic, right? When there's only Lings, there's no Banes or anything. We are talking about a... Oh, 3 damage on the Queens already is obviously nice as well. Those fusions are being used. Here's the medevac, so extra support arrives, and yeah, I mean, the Spire just doesn't help with this at all. So this is where these Hellbat attacks can do really, really good stuff. As you push in, the Marines in the back starting to get going. The Hellbats are doing good picking away at these Zerglings as well. And yeah, I mean, this is just an attack that hits when Rogue is not expecting it. So this is the second time Rogue's going to die to a Hellbat attack in this series. I mean, this one he dies much more convincingly than the first. And what a weird series. We're ping-ponging back and forth between either player just playing great versus playing bad. And yeah, as in the top left-hand side, we will begin Game 4 on Death Aura with the Red Zerg player who seems to be susceptible to the Hellbats. This is Rogue. Up against the Blue Terran in the bottom right side of the map, we've got ourselves Dream from Bravestar. Well, which game? It's just been a weird set of games, right? Because we've just gone from one guy being good to the other guy being great, the other guy being great again. Just, yeah, Rogue dying too easily, but then making a really sick return in the game. It's just wild. Reaper is on the way up in the main. Spawn pool is about halfway done. The hatchery on the natural. Going to be finishing up in a few moments' time in the command center. Getting set to go as well. So very standard, normal stuff here so far. And hey, thank you, Miller Main. Thank you so much for also reaching level 10 on the raid Shadow Legends. Appreciate it. Yeah, Rogue is not winning, guys. Sorry, I set up the scores and I swapped the scoreboard around. That's my apologies. Dream is winning 2-1. Yeah, I'm just confused about how these games are going so far as well. So, Lings show up. Reaper is pushed back as the Lings continue to chase that Reaper down. Run, Reaper, run. Run away, run away. Get the hell out of there. With 2 command centers coming up back at home, we'll see a Q team already going down at the front, and again, the Reaper just going to have to back off away from the front. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, what's really crazy to me is that we've been seeing 3 command centers and then Hellbats, and that's what Rogue is dying to. Like, hello? Kind of wild as these 3 Lings looking to maybe go toward the Reaper. I'm worried, man. Dream's gone 3cc, and Rogue's really good at dying against the 3cc, so a little bit terrified, not gonna lie. He actually used the racks for high ground vision to kill that Overlord over there. Didn't watch that, but that's being done. The Rax comes back home. We'll finally land for a tech lab, and I don't think we're gonna see a set of Hellbats this time. Rogue's going to play safe versus Hellbats now anyway. He goes into that Baneling Nest. Last game was obviously just kind of rough as well, because he goes for the Lair with no Bane Nest and so on. He goes for that very fast Spire, and obviously Hellbats are meant to be good against that. I still think it's meant to be holdable, but yeah, it was still kind of crazy, right? As the Hellions move around the upper left, a couple of refineries set up from Dream in the natural. So getting this underway with the stim pack. Setting up as well. Hellions putting a bit of damage onto Queens and just going to be seeing our Overlord of Rogue pulling back to the upper left side. Oh my god, no. Dream, don't do it to him. Dream, no, stop. Stop, he's seen enough Hellbats already today. Oh no. He's gonna get an Overlord kill here as well and force more Overlords, and that's gonna be less units. No, don't do it, Dream. Don't make this series a Hellbat fiesta. I don't believe. Oh my god. He's gonna go for the 4 in the main, 4 in the third strat this time around. A little bit of a different approach to what we've seen. As this is actually, well, straight up right now, it doesn't need to be Hellbats. He's just gonna run in Hellions to the main base for a bunch of kills. 5, 6, and he'll get to 7. The Queen putting damage on the Hellions means the medevac is full HP. And that's maybe the biggest problem of all. And now what's the plan? Drop in here again. Don't think you want to morph in Hellbats there. I think you just want to lift and try to go elsewhere. The other Hellion's actually going to show up in the main base as well. Well, he's going to show up in the bottom side, and he's going to provide support. So the armory just not really being used, as now he'll unload low ground, and I think Dream's already done enough. Had the armory, just never put it to use. Didn't really need to. The Hellions alone were good enough. Dream listened to my request. He's like, okay, well, he doesn't want to see Hellbats. I'll just kill him with the Hellions. Don't even need the Hellbats. Hellions put him back. Now we see... Still just being annoying here. The medevac is low, but only 1 Queen, so it doesn't drop that quickly. It's fine for now. This Viking's still around. It's already got 2 Overlord kills. Looking for another, but It's going to meet its end as the queens get there, and Dream didn't realize it in time. Oh my god, you're kidding me. How many times are these Hellions going to show up? Oh, they've just been non-stop in this main base. What's actually died then? 9 drones, 25 flames, 3 overlords, 3 banelines for a Hellion and a freaking Viking. That is some resources lost right there, people. I mean, the fact he's got the Hellions alive, now he can repair them and put them in the army. Oh my god. Alright, well. Just gonna be seeing the medevac healing up the Hellbats. That works too. Don't need to repair if you can just heal. Those are Widow Mines. You're gonna move out with that fast factory. Fast armory, sorry. He's gonna make use of it and get the drilling claws, similar to what we saw earlier as well. As they will go a couple different ways. These Widow Mines get blown up ahead of time at least, so at least that wasn't successful. Now Hydra's in position to shut down the next drop, and Dream going to be a little bit more cautious with it, pulling it back up to the top side. It's a fun build, honestly. Like the 3cc Hellbat pressure, it's very good against someone who's been a little bit more like kind of greedy, I guess, while also not being super committed yourself. Upgrades even here. Hive already starts from Rogue. I think, yeah, he wants to get up to Lurkers. I mean, the Lurkers worked well last time, but you got to remember that came off of him having a pretty good setup. Oh, he just killed every single Baneling here. Yeah, there's just not enough bio to stick around. That's unfortunate, because he actually did really good to get rid of the Banes very quickly. So the Banes went down pretty quick. Widow Mine drop that finds damage. It's like my worst nightmare, Widow Mine drops. Not because I die to them, not because I take damage to them, because I just can't ever freaking observe them. I'm just terrible at it. I honestly, like, if someone had told me, here's a medevac, 4 Widow Mines inside, literally follow it until it kills the mineral line, I'd probably still fuck it up. I'm so bad at these. And when I do watch, they don't get anywhere. The creep will be cleaned out as the bio pushes around the top side. Some Hydras are going to start showing up as well. I mean, Rogue at least is going to get up to Lurkers, right? So he's going to get to what we see being the turning point oftentimes for Zerg players in games like this. You know, they're on the back foot, but the Lurkers get up, they survive, and maybe they can then make something happen from there. That's my good news for Zerg fans right now, is that Rogue is perhaps going to be able to turn it around with Lurkers. Wouldn't mind. It doesn't do much. We've got a double drop on the right side that will pressure this top base while we have a larger army picking off rocks. That's where Rogue is going to rotate down to. Lurkers and Vipers on the way. Unfortunately, we forgot the +2 attack, so armor is done for the turn player, but not attack, which means that he could have been on 2-2. And instead it's 1-2, but the kind of useful, less useful 1-2. If it was 2-1 with attack upgrade, it'd still probably be being like, oh my god, with just the armor, not so bothered about it. It splits here. The Hellbat's still being around, obviously helping to tank a bit of this damage as well. Absolutely time to make a play over here. He's going to start with some creep spread. Units on the way over. As Dream is reinforcing and rallying up the left side. Of course, Vipers are going to be here with energy soon, so time is kind of running out to get something done. With just this initial push, I think this might have to slow down a bit and go from there. I told you I'd never be able to watch these Widow Mine drops. 13 drones to the mine drop in the back. And a couple of abduct Satanists are going to be seeing the tanks just getting shut down, and Vipers have a lot to say about that. Some of the Widow Mines doing well at least, but overall Rogue will hold on for now, and we'll see what Dream does on the follow-up from this. Dream at least remembers to start +3 attack after the +2 fiasco, so gets that going as soon as he can. Question from the chat: why don't Terrans punch the 2 queens that always show up to put down the creep again? It's difficult, right? Like, you know they're gonna... I mean, sometimes they do. Like, sometimes you just know they're gonna be there and you show back up. Usually the queens show up with support, though, with, like, lings and stuff, and so the drop is better off being elsewhere and already being in the next place to deal damage again. Because if there's just units there with the queens, then they don't get punished. I think that the simple answer is that sometimes they do get punished for going back with those 2 queens on their own. Bio here is going to be relying on the Widow Mines to clean up some of these banelings at least, as Rogue gets aggressive down the right side. Maxed out versus Dream, who's about 10 supply away. Another siege tank just abducted straight in, picked off immediately. And the Lingbane Hydra continue to move on through this. SCV is dropping again. Yeah, that's just not an answer to these lurkers just yet, is there? There are ghosts on the way. I mean, obviously tanks help to hold positions usually. I say ghosts on the way. There's already a few ghosts out, but they've not been active. This is the first time we're really hearing those snipes. There is a drop across the map. 3 drones down. Let's see what these ghosts are going to do against the lurkers, though. Not much. There's the drop. 10 workers killed, and now Queens will clean it up. I mean, that's great. This is more important because this is like the life of Dream on the line. If these lurkers show up and get further forward here, Dream's probably not going to be able to push this back. But this becomes such a difficult position to break. He's going to go for it. Blind Cloud's coming down to force the units further forward. Kills a few of the lurkers. Army supplies are favoring Rogue. I don't know why there's still 1 Marine back in. I don't know why there are so many units trying to deal with it. It's just not necessary. Yeah, I mean, at least Dream is mining off the bottom side, so he's still mining 4 bases. It's just he doesn't have a way to get rid of these lurkers. I like this. This was cute. What he just did here is he sent these 2 ghosts forward to take the lurker shots, so the ghost in the back could get the snipe off. And that's a pretty smart way of approaching that, because it was being a problem, and now he's going to be able to finally force it back. Scan needed. He doesn't have it. How does he not have the scan? Alright, well, the lurkers finally get pushed back. This took a long time, though. And because of how much Dream has been pinned back by these lurkers, this is where Rogue excels, because now he just gets all of the bases up, and now he gets expansions everywhere, and he's just had so much time to establish that. And that's the big thing, is we're going to be seeing these lurkers are, well, going to be interesting as well. He cleans up the ones on the right side at least. There's 1 left over here that he just needs to scan to get rid of. Trying to deal with the left side as well, though, and Dream at the moment just doesn't seem to have an answer for it. He gets rid of the one on the right. We go back left, though, and now you're zoned out away from this bottom left base, and if that's the case, you're in some trouble. I mean, Rogue should know about it, and he's going to start moving units there. Hey, 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 no Overseer. No Overseer. So there's no detection available, right? Am I crazy? These ghosts coming through and getting some snipes off? Okay, that was just a really weird kind of interaction. No detection, but I think the lurkers were dealing damage to the ghost by hitting the bio they could see behind it. So then the ghosts were still taking the damage that they were meant to avoid by being cloaked. Then the banelings got done, they can manually detonate, and okay, now Dream's just lost too much. What a turnaround from Rogue. He was dominated in the early stages, and like I say, you get up to lurkers, and lurkers can be a huge turning point. And what it was that Dream was like splitting his army, but his drop right side didn't do anything, and it was very late to interact or fight. And so Rogue could defend the left side, then he dealt with the right side drop, then he got back to the left side, cleaned up, and then he had lurkers in that position, just gave him all the time in the world to get set up while slowing Dream down. And yeah, Dream just was not ready to fight the lurkers, and that's why they were able to get into that position initially. And now it looks like we're set up to go to a Game 5. As the medevac loads up, and Dream will fly that out to the far right side of the map. Game 5 looks like a... Game 5 just straight up looks like it's going to happen here, right? I don't think there's really a way for Dream to turn this one around. Not really looking good for him at all at the moment. And back to the top. And this Bio coming around. Well, Ghost lining up a couple of snipes here, and a bit of a push from Dream at least. The problem is he's still only 4 bases, right? It's just not enough compared to what Rogue has, as well. Lurkers come in for the flank, and well, if you lift anything up into medevac, the Vipers are going to abduct them back into the Hydras. Rogue gets the final crushing blow. That'll see Dream out of the game, and us into a game number 5. Ooh, what a series, huh? 2-2, tied up, go in the distance here, as you have in the top left, our Red Zerg player. This is a Rogue. And in the bottom right, the Blue Terran. It is Dream. Just as we get into Game 5, a couple of catch-up shout-outs. Thank you very much to Vendathiel for the 17-month resubs as Dream Fighting. Cheering Dream on in this Game 5 on Romanticide. TIL911 with the 6-month resub on the Prime as well. And I think that's it. I think we're caught up in a quiet hour or so during this series. Thank you so much for the couple resubs. Appreciate it. As we get into game number 5. So, kicking off into this, getting ready to see what happens. This has just been a weird TVZ. I'm not gonna... It feels like Rogue has died in ways he shouldn't die, and then he's won in games in ways he shouldn't have won, and it's just been like he's never had a good start in this series. And it's been 2-2, and each game has been still dominant somehow. Like, the later stage has been so dominant we forgot about the start. Crazy little setup here as we go into our command center. Excited to see what Game 5 brings us here on Romanticide. As we get set up. Here comes that early Reaper across the upper left side. See what's going to happen as it gets to the top left of this here initially. Starts in on the drone, and a bit of damage being done early on. Is going to get a kill. Wow, drone kill. Tell you what, the Reaper, early game Reaper has been great in this series as well. We've seen creep tumors again and again, and now finally getting a drone. He's been so close to getting a drone multiple times. This time finally able to deliver on it. We're backing away, just going to be seeing our Zerglin speed starting up from Rogue in the main base. As the Overlord's about to pop out from Rogue, our third hatchery is down and progressing. And seeing a mid-game then starting to develop as Dream goes 1-1-1. Is he going to go hell? Honestly, these early Hellion/Hellbat setups have done so much for him. Off the 3 command centers. Like, I can't believe just how well he's been able to set up with this. It's been kind of crazy, honestly. This is an earlier roach run from Rogue. I think this is earlier than what we had in the earlier game and takes the extra gas as well. This feels a lot more like we're going to build a whole bunch of roaches and go across the map and try and end it early. I don't mind that with what Dream is doing. Dream's playing extremely Hellion heavy. One game he went Banshees, but that was just one time. This feels like the Hellion into Hellbat heavy style once again. There you go, 7 roaches on the way up, make that 8. And this attack of Rogue gets set to go. I don't mind it. You know, it's looking to be the exact same thing from Dream. And this, to me, really should capitalize on that. He's very passive with the scouting. These few Lings might be a giveaway. The fact they're across the map trying to be aggressive, trying to catch a Hellion. Doesn't get it. Now he has to run down the bottom left. But you know what that's going to do? Pulls the Hellions to the bottom of the map. Bunker starts. It's actually just a sign, right? It's like, hey, why are you trying to pull my Hellions away? Why are you getting aggressive for your first time ever with these Lings compared to the previous games? It doesn't really add up, and that's what Dream says, and that's why he starts preparing a bunker already, and now catches one Roach already as he sits on top of the ramp. He's going to get a second one as well. Good start of this from Dream, who's now going to have bunkers to help as well. He's very close to Stim, so if he holds on a little while, he'll have Stim to help defend, but I think he's already got a defense here. He'll lose a couple of depots at the front, yes, but he's going to have double bunker. No wall off is obviously a shame, because now the Lings can run in and wrap around, but you've got a lot of Hellions here to help you defend that. SCVs pull forward. The first bunker doesn't die to the Biles, and that is huge. And that means your first round of attacking in just has not been successful, unfortunately. Yeah, this is tough. Now, not even... The problem is you need to hit these Biles behind this bunker so you can force the SCVs to pull away and not just sit here and repair. Now you get a Marauder in the bunker, gets +1 range, a Banshee on the way out, and Rogue is not droning behind this. He does not have a follow-up plan. The bunker still doesn't die! Oh my god, 6 Ravagers just don't do enough with those Biles to kill a bunker. 7 should do it if there's no repairing, and there it is. First bunker falls, the second bunker being repaired. A few Hellions lifted into the medevac there, misclick, but you know what? I think we're okay. The medevac goes down, but yeah, you kill off all the Lings, and there's plenty of units remaining. We even have Stim now if we get a few more bio units out. We've also... First Banshee should be here. Banshee, where are you? About to arrive and say goodbye to Rogue. SCVs are pulling in to fight this, but not really necessary, as the Banshee should get rid of the Ravagers. The Hellions will get rid of the Lings. Did he really need to pull the SCVs in to tank and to buy some time here? Now the SCVs are stuck, trying to get away. These Corrosive Biles could be massive. Gets even more SCVs, and now Rogue can maybe drone out of this. I don't know if he really... I don't know if he should have been... Oh my, he just killed his own Viking. I don't know if he should have pulled the SCVs in. Like, I don't know why. Like, he's got a defense coming. I don't know what he needed the SCVs for. I don't even think he needed to buy time or anything. This was so strange. Like, it felt like it was going so well until everything was in place. It should be the perfect defense. And that's when everything fell apart. Now, you've got 3 command centers, but now you're talking about a 13 worker lead for Rogue. Now, yeah, he's been mining a bit less this entire time, but 13-ish worker lead is actually massive, and he's going to build 8 more. If he can do this and defend any aggression that arrives, that's when we're in trouble. If he can, you know, obviously if you build up this many drones, you just die, whatever. But if you build up this amount, defend the aggression, then you actually get into a really good spot here as Rogue. Let's see. As the Banshees show up, they're going to get a few drones. No cloak. But having to build Spore Crawlers anyway, just in case. I mean, it's just free drone pickings. Obviously, just trading Banshee HP for drone kills. Dream's still down by 20, though. Oh, this is kind of such a weird game. I mean, this is the kind of game this series deserves, honestly. It's been such a weird... It's been such a weird series from start through to finish in general, honestly. Double Evo chamber in the top left. We do have a medevac of Widow Mines moving out up the right-hand side. So 4 mines coming up to the top. Upgrades a little bit ahead from Dream. His army supply is still good, but obviously he's afraid of moving out across the map too early, so he sat back. Let's see what these Widow Mines can do. I actually think Dream's okay, because I think overall when he gets 1-1 in medevacs, he's going to push, and that should be strong for him. It'll be against no Bane speed with an upgrade advantage. That should do a lot unless the Mutalisks overwhelm. The Muta is the only real option to save the day there, I think, as we're going to see Widow Mines in both mineral lines. That's a stack of drones in both. Oh, no. Well, there you go. 26 drones just died. So every advantage that Rogue maybe had just disappeared. Like, Rogue's advantage was the economy. And that just got blown up by 6 Widow Mines. So there goes all of the drones. And now this 1-1 attack is going to be even more powerful because Rogue is in a state of having to re-drone to be able to play the game, which means he's not able to set up units to defend. I really would like to see this on. The only thing I will agree, there's not a lot of Marines, and maybe that's still scary to move out with such a low Marine count because there's a lot of Lings still around. These Widow Mines come back in, one on the low ground, one on the high ground here. That's 3 workers killed. This next 3 Widow Mine drop comes in from the right side fairly shortly. There's even a Widow Mine still in the main base. It's not being cleaned out, and another one sets up as well. It's been a bit of a meme of a series, hasn't it? As a Widow Mine sets up onto the Queen. I mean, it doesn't kill a Queen, but it puts damage out there, and this damage is all slowly adding up. There's a Widow Mine literally chasing the drones. No! Good split. Necessary split from Rogue. Oh my god, that was actually nearly just another chunk of drones going down as the Widow Mine chased it down. Incredible. Widow Mine here going to boost in and loading, and well, oh my god. Those Lings split away last second. Muta's now out. I'm genuinely shocked that we just don't see a push. I get that the Widow Mines are doing good and all the rest of it, but I'm just genuinely surprised that you just don't push and take advantage of everything you've been doing here. I guess the next timing is just to hit with 2-2, and there are no upgrades on the way from Rogue, so 2-2 will be a great timing to hit at. Just thought it might have been sooner, especially considering some of these games Dream has fallen apart in the later stages when he's let Rogue get back into it after a horrible start. Now, no start has been this bad for Rogue, but yeah. Here's down the bottom side. Widow Mines are active again. This one was the one that's just been sat in the main forever. Comes in, gets 6 drones. 2-2 about to complete. I mean, now you're maxing out. So now there's no reason to stay at home. You know, the other argument for staying at home until now is that you do just have 4 bases, strong economy. So why push out too soon? Why give yourself the chance of being cleaned up and counterattacks doing so much? But now you're maxed. I mean, now you really do just let the Zerg get into a better position if you don't start to go out and trade. Starts to make a push up towards the top side, but is still reluctant to commit. 5th base about to be ready to move into position as well. The Mutas are even staying back a little bit. They don't really seem to know where they want to be. Widow Mines setting up, and you're going to see a little bit of a split around. He actually loses a chunk of Widow Mines that were clumped up together. So at least Rogue gets something here initially. As the Baneling's crashing through, Marauder's doing a good job of tanking initially. Some more Lings going down as well. Now here you go, going to start running into this. The Bio going to continue setting up. Widow Mines will burrow. The Bane's continuing to go down, and well, the Thor's obviously doing great against the Mutas. There's a lot of units left on the ground. There's not a lot of Marines, but with the Thor's against the Mutas and just the overwhelming Marauder count anyway, it's going to be just fine. The Baneling's obviously running into Marauders, which isn't going to do enough, and we've obviously known that Dream's going to push across to win this one at some point soon, and this is obviously just that fight now playing out. Dream going to guarantee us at least 1 Terran in the semi-finals. We already have the Zerg and Ragnarok, of course. Already guaranteed the Protoss because the next matchup is PvP. So we'll have a good mix of races guaranteed in the semis of the tournament as Dream pushes through. Rogue is reluctant to leave. Bio continues to push forward. Hatchery is taking damage as well. Rogue is really not leaving this game. As a thorough set of drones are found on this left-hand side, Marines are getting rid of the meters. They're trying to work magic behind this. Wow, Rogue does not want to leave, huh? Alright, well, meters continue around. Sensor Tower gets picked off, and we're just going to be seeing him finally typing out GG. He's like, is the 5th base the sign you need to leave the game? He's like, shit, he's on 5 bases. That's unbeatable. Like, not the fact you're on 4 bases, he's on 4 bases, you've got 58 drones left. Maybe just wanted to see what was going on. But we've got a rewind function in the game nowadays, mate. You can rewind and you can see what's happening. GG's. Dream Team.